Hi, I'm Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of today's newsletter is going to be Playful Pickup and Seduction Success Story in Paradise. So this particular email success story, this guy's been watching for 3 years. He says he's read 3% Man 5 times so far. Obviously not the 10 to 15 that I recommend. But you can see why, even though he hasn't read the book the times that I prescribe, when it comes to pickup and seduction, like in this case, he's on vacation in Thailand. I guess he lives there 2-3 months of the year annually. And I guess he knows somebody out there. And so he shares a success story of how he took his friend's dog for a walk, which, by the way, dogs are great, especially little cute dogs. Girls love dogs. Oh, he's so cute. It's just such a great opener and icebreaker because if you're with a little dog and the dog likes you, then it's like having little kids with you. It's like being a dad. It's like you're safe. And so women feel more comfortable approaching you if you have a dog versus you're just, some weird walking down the street. But he does a really great job. Just a couple simple things from the book to read her interest, and it just easily and effortlessly flows right into the bedroom. So he sent some pictures. This girl is absolutely beautiful. And so if you're ever on vacation, this is what's nice. You don't even have to know anybody. Like in this case, he had a friend that also lives there, and he took his dog Frosty for a walk. And it's just a great little short success story, especially for, because this guy went through a difficult time when he came across my work. He wasn't feeling very good about himself. And it took him a while to get over the breakup. And then he comes across this absolutely beautiful girl and just has a nice little love story that just, boom, happens like that. So he says, "Hey, Coach, I've been watching for 3 years now, and I've read the book 5 times. My dating life is awesome now. Thanks for all your work and how the water tastes so much better from my She Belongs to the Streets mug." Well, thank you for those of you that would like to get the She Belongs to the Streets mug. You can go to teespring.com, or it's called Spring now, and just look up the Coach Corey Wayne store, or CoreyWayneShop.com will take you there. He says, "Today is a perfect day to finally send in a story. I'm chiming in from Southeast Asia, currently living on a tiny island that I visit for a few months each year. A friend of mine who lives here permanently lets me borrow her dog named Frosty when I go for walks on the beach at sunset." Frosty is a great, great idea. That's a great teammate and a great wingman. On my first sunset walk this year, I met this super cute Thai girl who works at one of the scuba diving shops. When I noticed her, she had a big, beautiful smile and was staring at Frosty, the dog, accompanying me. When I got closer, she smiled at me and said, "Is that your dog?" I playfully explained the dog isn't mine, but then tacked on the simple test of, "You're super cute. What's your name?" Pretty easy. Right from the book, you tell her exactly what you think. Just blurt it out. God, you take my breath away. God, you're beautiful. In this case, you're super cute, what she really is. Beautiful, great body. I totally would not kick her out of bed for eating crackers. So I see why he likes her. So notice what he says next. "You're super cute. What's your name?" Right out of the book. That was actually something that, so for those of you that are familiar with the book, this was something that is great. I got this from Doc Love years ago. And so it's such a great low-risk way to, when you meet somebody, just say, "Hey, what's your name?" "Oh, my name's Vanessa." "Well, it's nice to meet you, Vanessa," and you don't volunteer your name back. Now, why? Is that rude to do that? It feels a little awkward the first few times you do it when you say, "Hey, what's your name?" "Oh, my name's Vanessa." "Well, it's nice to meet you, Vanessa," because you naturally want to say, "Hey, it's nice to meet you, Vanessa. My name's Corey." But don't. You say, "Hey, it's nice to meet you." And if she's interested in any way, she'll say, "Well, what's your name?" It's also possible that she's being polite, but 9 times out of 10, when she asks your name, it also means you passed her physical attraction test. She wants to know who you are. Because if she's not interested, she'll just go, "Oh, it's nice to meet you too," and never even bother to ask your name at all. And occasionally you'll run across a woman who's kind of a little like, "And your name is?" A little bit of an attitude right out of the gate. But in this case, she told me her name, and then asked for mine. That's when I knew it was on, like Donkey Kong. The simple test of stating your sexual interest and asking for their name and then waiting to see if they ask for your name in return has been such a game changer for me. It's opened so many doors and a few legs these past 3 years. It really does work great. It's like because you're being direct, you're being decisive, you're getting right to the point. You see this girl and you're like, wow, nice to meet you. Wow, you take my breath away. Or, God, you're intoxicating to look at. It's like whatever comes out of your mouth just comes out of your mouth. Or you have a fucking unbelievable body. Whatever happens to be. Because what you have to understand is you communicate your interest, because obviously the eyes are communicating that there's interest there, especially with a nice smile. And she feels comfortable talking to you because you got this cute little dog with you. And then you start talking. And then the next thing is you ask her name. She asks for yours. It just makes it so beautiful and easy. And if she never bothered asking for your name, you can say, hey, well, it's nice to meet you. Have a great day. It's just you too. And then you didn't risk anything. She didn't even know that you were vetting to see if there was real interest on her part. It's so simple, but it's so brilliant. So he says, I probably don't need to explain it, but the idea is that if they ask you for your name back, and then on some level, they must be interested in you. It's possible they're just being polite. But in this case, it's obvious she was interested. And if they don't ask for your name, then you simply say, great to meet you. Have a nice day. I think you mentioned this many times. Maybe omit this part if it's irrelevant. Well, it is in the book. It's not that I just mention it occasionally. It's in the book. It's a really great technique. After a few minutes of seeing if I could get her to do 90% of the talking during this first chance meeting, that's the other thing that's nice, is you want a woman that's outgoing, very talkative, feels comfortable. And most women typically tend to be that way. And you're looking for easygoing, easy to get along with. Is the girl excited to talk to you? Is she asking you personal questions? That's what you're looking for. And then I still found her interesting during that time. I said, I got to run, but let's grab a drink soon, handing her my phone with Instagram already open for her to enter her contact details. I got her Instagram and moved on with my day. So about a week goes by, and she'd been liking some of my stories and posts on Instagram, and I shot her a text saying, hey, cutie, when are you free to grab a drink? So we waited a whole week, right? She didn't get pissed off. She's like, oh, you'll see women all the time. I see them in the comments. I see them in the post. Oh, if you waited 3 days to call me, I would never do that. The girl liked them. Easygoing, easy to get along with. You want her to just be glad to hear from you. Whether it took 3 days or a week, it shouldn't matter. If she's got a good attitude and she likes you, she'll just be glad to hear from you. And she made me go, oh, I thought you lost my number. But in this case, they connected on Instagram. And she responded after tomorrow. So I set the date and said, great, let's get together 7 p.m. tomorrow at Sharky's. Well, I guess there's a place in Thailand or one of these islands called Sharky's. He says it's a nice rooftop bar here on the island to grab a sunset drink. And she replied, lovely, see you there. So lovely. I don't believe she's English. She's hot Taiwanese. What can I say? The day was great. We spent an hour listening to live music, having cocktails, and she did 90% of the talking at Sharky's. It was easy to make her laugh and get her to open up. See? Easy going, easy to get along with. This is what you're looking for. You want a woman that makes your dick hard, not makes your life hard. You want a woman that builds you up, your biggest cheerleader and fan, not a difficult pain in the ass. It's always looking for a chance to needle you or emasculate you or tweak your balls. Easy going, easy to get along with. After that, we went to another beach bar to shoot some pool and watch a fire show. And when we were watching the fire show, she casually asked where I was staying. Wonder why. I knew that it was my cue to say, hey, let's get out of here and we can go have a glass of wine back at my place. And off we went, smooth sailing. See, if you know what to look for, if you understand it, she's like, hey, do you live close by? That's kind of saying, hey, if you're up for it, I'm okay with going and being alone. Because after all, she got to meet Frosty. And that's all it took was little Frosty. I have a private pool villa here. So we played around in the pool. She actually doesn't know how to swim, so I gave her a fun impromptu swimming lesson. That was a great opportunity for light touches and silly innuendos. I used to be a lifeguard, so it was fun to pretend to teach a swimming lesson again. We talked more and had a few more drinks before heading to the bedroom for a few rounds of the indoor Olympics. That was a great experience, and I could not have pulled it off without your guidance. Stoked to see where this new connection may go. A few pictures for authenticity attached, but please keep those yourself. I have, and she's hot. If I was running into that girl and I was on vacation, I totally would be hooking up with her. If, obviously, she was interested. So, good job, dude. So he says, P.S. So this is interesting. This is like a little side note to something that helped him. So he said, because I talked about earlier that he went through a really difficult time. And so he says, P.S. I found your work when I was at rock bottom 3 years ago. Long story short, I was struggling with feeling bonded to a woman who dumped me. So you imagine going from getting dumped to this absolutely gorgeous young girl just saying, hey, do you live close by? I struggled with this bonded feeling for about 10 months, and I'd felt this way about other women in my past. And I could barely eat or sleep. My mind kept going to the ex, thinking about her. Well, rejection breeds obsession, and probably like most guys, you didn't see it coming, and then all of a sudden, it stings, you're dumped, and then 2 weeks later, she's banging some other guy, and you're going, how'd she move on so quickly? Because by the time she left, her feelings were gone, and so was her respect. I did all the feel it to heal it stuff to try and let go of the intense feelings towards her, and anything to try and move on. I did therapy, I dated other women, etc. Nothing changed until I took my first ice cold shower. So, obviously cold plunges are a big thing. Like Tony Robbins has been big into cold plunges for years and has talked about it. And that's something he does every morning is jumps in, 50 degrees or 40 degrees or 60 degrees, whatever it is. And then, I don't like cold water, but hey, if it works for you, man, keep doing it. He says, I'll never forget that day 2 years ago now. I did a 3-minute cold shower on full cold in November 2021. Later on in the day, I recall riding downtown to grab a smoothie and just thinking, holy crap, I feel great. And it's that when I realized I was no longer ruminating about the ex. So he says, I had discovered inner peace for the first time in over 10 months. And there's probably a lot of viewers who could use this to help get over their exes. So this is really interesting. He says, cold water therapy can increase dopamine by as much as 250%. And I can't even say that. norepinephrine, I don't know how to say it. By as much as 530%, all from just seconds spent in cold water. Yeah, because it freaks your body out, and you're like, I'm going to die, I got to do something. He says, going through a breakup causes dopamine levels to drop. Yeah. So cold water therapy is a brilliant hack to get back on a masculine center, I found. Hope that helps. Thanks, Ian Corey. You are a rock star. Well, thanks for the success story and sharing what you did. I mean, it was so simple. It's like I talk about in the book, that great Adam Carolla quote. When a girl likes you, the door's open and all you got to do is walk through. But if the doors start closing in your face, then you walk away. And in this case, she made it very easy. She came up to him. The dog was his peacock, to borrow something from the pickup and seduction community. And it's like she already liked him. And that's the reality. Attraction's not a choice. Girls already like you. They're already predisposed to like you and be interested in you. But unfortunately, most guys don't know what to do. They don't have any game. They don't know how to tell if a girl likes them or not. They don't know how to go about setting a date. And just the way he was direct, decisive, got to the point, made a date. And then when she asks him if he lives close by, he knows what that means. He says, hey, let's go back and have a glass of wine. And then, of course, they're... And now she's helped him with his grief therapy. Lots of happy finishes in paradise. So if you got a question or challenge and you would like to get my help, go to understandingrelationships.com, click the products tab at the top of your screen, and book a coaching session with yours truly. Until next time, I will talk to you soon.